Hi, this is Diana from Spain and Iowa. I'm so excited to introduce to you one of the most humblest of meals made throughout the entire country of Spain, Puchero. Puchero translates to stew pot, introduced by the Jewish Spaniards, at the time made without pork because of their kosher dietary laws. Now during the Spanish Inquisition, during the late 1400s, early 1500s, they began to include pork into the puchero in order to show their allegiance and loyalty to the Spanish government and the church. Puchero has since been adapted numerous ways, but the heart of it, the soul, comes from the southern region of Spain called Andaluz, where my family is from. So before we head into the kitchen, we're here at my community garden to pick up a few things. Now that we're back from the community garden and we've gathered all of our ingredients, it's time to start our puchero. Now puchero is a typical peasant's food. It's made up of frugal pieces of meat, legumes, winter root vegetables, and winter grains. Now although this seems like a lot of ingredients, it's really easy to make as it's a one-pot meal. So, with a glass of vino tinto in hand, let's start. Now starting with our meats, these are the typical ingredients found in a puchero. Usually that of a ham bone, that of a jamón serrano, but since we don't have that, we're going to be using a ham hock. This is a smoked ham hock, which is just going to give it that much more depth and flavor. It is a heritage breed animal, so it's been pastured. Now if we move over here, you're going to see that we have my free-range chicken that I raised right in my own backyard. And since it is a heritage breed animal also, you will start to see that of the rich animal fats just right underneath the skin. Beautiful, will just give it so much flavor and nutrition. Also we have our pork belly. Now my locker did slice mine, but that is uncured bacon or pork belly, and that's just going to give it that many more nutrients also. Alright, so the first thing we do with our meats is right into the pot as they are. You can see it can't get any easier than that. After getting our meat into the pot, I'm just going to go ahead and add the garbanzo beans. Now the garbanzo beans I have soaked overnight for at least 12 hours, up to 24 hours. So let's just go ahead and put that into the pot as well. Once we do that, from here it's just about going to our vegetables. So what we're going to do is add that celery. Now what I do is I use the celery heart, which is the sweetest, most tender part of the celery. So what I do is I just take off the outside pieces, and I will reserve these for your kids. If you have kids, peanut butter and raisins, ants on a log works perfect. Or if anything, my chickens. Since I do have backyard chickens, nothing ever goes to waste. Or if you compost, throw it in the compost. But really, these are great pieces for your kids, so save them. So here's what we're looking at. What I want is the heart of the celery, which is pretty much just this piece right down here. So what I will go ahead and do is just cut off the top, right about here. And this is what I want. Now, if I look at the middle of here, of the pieces that I just took out, you're going to see these small little tender pieces of leaves. These yellow pieces are sweet and make the greatest flavor also for your broth. So if you know, if you want to just increase that flavor, that depth, definitely save those pieces and add them in. The rest will go to my chickens. They are lucky, lucky birds. So that into the pot. And this down here, I will just cut. And just as it is, I add that entire piece in, the celery heart. From here, all you need to do is peel all of your root vegetables, cut your onions and your turnips, and rinse your leek. And all I use is the bottom part of the leek and rinse it really well. Add it to the pot. Now the potatoes we will do when there's about a half hour left to finish cooking. Since they will dissolve if you add them in too soon, you want to make sure to do that at the very end. As soon as the everything is cooked through and the broth is made in about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, we'll go ahead and also add our cabbage and some bok choy. So let me just go ahead and fill this and get this started. Oh man, that smells great. Now that broth is worth just as much or more than all the ingredients inside. So from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate all of the meat from the broth, and I'm going to separate the vegetables as well so that I can now boil down my winter greens. How beautiful those greens look. Now in Spain what they would traditionally do is actually start with a soup made with the broth. Put some rice in it and start there, and then finish with the meats. But here we're going to do something a little bit different. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those garbanzo beans and the potatoes, carrots. As you can see, this is nothing but nourishment. Now what's great about this dish as well is that it is frugal. There's so much broth left, there are so many different garbanzo that are going to be left over, that this is now going to carry you through the rest of the week. You can make croquetas, which are on my blog, or you can just freeze the broth and save it for other dishes that you can make. I use it all in so many different recipes. So always make sure to check and see how you could save that bone broth. And as they say in Spain, desde mi cocina a la tuya, buen provecho.